Imagine if you were captured and taken to a lab, and in the lab, various weird experiments had to be carried out on you, causing you excruciating pain and perhaps loss of freedom. How would you feel? Now, for some, this might be one of their scariest nightmares, but for animals, these nightmares are reality. Have we bleached our minds to such insecurity that we do not accept other humans?
Are we on the verge of a moral collapse?
Is this the future we expect?
Old ways won't open new doors. A change has definitely become inevitable.
Circumstances are a compulsion. Attitude is a decision.
From the dawn of history, we have been using animals for our own selfish needs. It may be for a scientific experiment or merely to fulfill our own curiosity. According to a stat by PETA organization, around 226 million animals were used for science experiments in US alone, in which most of them were cut open, poisoned, amputated, and were kept in cages for weeks, months, and years together.
But yes, it is not unethical to use animals in scientific research if it is done for common good. But the problem is, we use these treatments exclusively for our own selfish needs. This is because there is a fine line of demarcation between medicines used by animals and that for humans. Furthermore, do we really produce medicines exclusively for animals? And even if we do, are they in abundance?
But wait, the most obvious question arises, do animal testing anyway benefits us?
Ironically, they do not much. This is because animal testing is no way reliable. Yes, most of the animal testing do not produce the desired result or may even produce the adverse result, which is more disastrous. According to a stat by the NIH or the National Institute of Health, it has been surveyed that 95% of all the drugs shown safe and effective in animal tests fail in human tests simply because they have a different DNA.
And for practically no result, we harm millions of animals by cutting open them or injecting diseases which usually do not affect them.
And also, after testing a drug on hundreds of animals, there is always going to be the first human to be tested by the drug.
And hence for this reason, the first vaccine, that is the smallpox vaccine, was tested on a human rather than on an animal.
Then why to use animals in medical testing if it is apparently proved that it is unethical, unreliable and unnecessary?
Wait, then do we have any effective alternatives?
Friends, we live in an era of completely automated robotic surgeries. So on the point of alternatives, we have alternatives ranging from tissue culture to cognitive computerized testings.
And when there's a compulsion to get a live human organ system, we can easily get human volunteers.
Friends, it's high time. While advancing towards the fascinating future, we need to change our thought process, our perception through which we see animals. They're not lifeless objects which exist for us to use. They exist for themselves.
Also, are we not aware of that millions of animals are used by us in the name of food, cosmetics, jackets, and even for entertainment?
Have we been to that extent inhumane that we do not consider other creatures living around us?
Have we forgotten the law of nature, which demands equality among all living beings?
Do not forget, friends, that they too have pain receptors just as we do.
They too have emotions just as we do.
They too scream just like us when left in pain.
Then why don't we provide them with the basic moral right of respectful treatment?
Friends, just think. They don't smoke, they don't wear jackets, they do not use cosmetics, they don't drink alcohol. Just because we do, why should they suffer?